Hey everyone, Cody from Mac Telecom Networks. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at another brand new device that fits within the SuperLink lineup. That device is the Remote Control KeyFob. Now this KeyFob has 6 physical buttons on it, but we could program it so that it could have 18 different presses. The new Remote Control KeyFob is $39 USD, and if you do plan on buying it, use my affiliate link down in the description below. If you'd like to hire me for network consulting, visit my website at mactelecomnetworks.com. Now let's take a closer look at the Remote Control KeyFob. And this is the all-new Remote Control KeyFob. On the front, you could see that there's 4 different buttons with different icons on them. We could actually change out this different faceplate, and I'll show you how to do that. On the sides, there's also buttons as well. So this is the right button, and then on this side is the left button. We do have a hole if you want to put that on your keychain. Now this is a fairly big fob, so putting it in your pocket all day may become uncomfortable, but you'll have to test that out. I haven't tested that out quite yet. This is the other faceplate that it comes with. It's just numbered 1 to 4. So let's go ahead and let's pop this off. Ubiquiti gives you this little tool to remove the faceplate. All we need to do is put it in and then pop it out. Once the old one's removed, we could now put the new one in, and there's 2 pins that we just need to put in, one on the top and one on the bottom. You want to make sure that it's properly pushed in so that this faceplate doesn't come off when you're taking it in and out of your pocket. The KeyFob does have a nice feel to it, and there are ridges on the buttons. You'd also see in the middle that these things stick out a little further, and I would assume that is for accidental presses when you're taking it in and out of your pocket. On the back of the KeyFob, there's the replaceable CR2450 battery that should last around 10 years, so they say, and a reset button. We've now seen what the fob looks like. Let's see what it could do. And the first thing that we're going to need to do is adopt this. And to adopt it, it's the exact same as every other UniFi device. We're just going to click to adopt. Now you do need to have a SuperLink gateway for this to work. So we're going to wait for this to adopt, and then we'll take a look at the settings. The USL fob is now within our UniFi Protect application, and if we open it up, it will bring over an overview. So we can see what the fob is, and then this is where we're going to actually program the fob. So we have our single press, we have our long press, and then we have our double press. The long press and the double press would actually help us with an accidental key press. But if we click on our single press, you could see that we have arm, we have where we could configure, which is like the sleep icon. We have disarm, we have custom, which I had set to panic, but we're going to reconfigure all of these. And then we have the left and the right. I'm probably not going to be using the long press or the double press for this video, but if you're worried about accidental key presses, you may want to do that. And if you have a bunch of different scenarios, you could have up to 18 different keys programmed. Now it's going to tell us our status, our connection, and you can see the connection is fairly good. It will show you the model, the device, and we could actually see the battery life on this. It's supposed to last up to about 10 years. Now at the very bottom, it's going to show us all of our different alarm types that we have configured, and we'll go through that together. Over on the settings, we could give this a new name, we could create a tag, and we could lock it to a SuperLink if you have more than one SuperLink gateway. We could restart it, and then we could remove it. We're going to go through a couple scenarios of what we could actually trigger with this fob. So I'm going to click on our single press, and then I'm going to configure the arm. So I'll click on configure, and you can see all these different actions. So the action right now is to arm the alarm, and then we have a target. I don't have an alarm profile set up yet, but we will get that done. We have a disarm alarm. We could open a door, or we could open a gate, which you'll see me opening up my garage door using the USL relay. We have a custom, which we could use webhooks, which I will use a webhook to trigger these lights to go on and off. And then we have no actions. I'm also going to hook up a horn, and when we press this button, it will play a sound through that horn. The first thing that we need to do, we need to create that alarm profile. So we'll go over and we'll go to our alarm manager. Within the alarm manager, we could see all the alarms that we already have. And then down here, we have alarm profiles, and I'm going to create new. With this, I'm just going to call this home alarm. And we have a couple different options here. We could do activation delay, which delays arming after activation to give you time to exit. Prevents false triggers while you're still on site. And then we could do a schedule. I'm not going to use either of those, and I'm going to press save. With the alarm profile created, I'm going to assign that to the arm button of the fob. So we'll go over to devices, and then I'm going to click on the fob. From here, we're going to click over on configure, and now we have our target. So if we hit the drop down, we'll see home alarm, and I'll press apply. We're going to want to create another alarm for when my house is armed. If somebody opens up my door and that contact opens, the siren goes off. So I'll create an alarm, and I'm just going to call this armed siren. We're going to want to select sensor, and then we're going to do open status changed, and down at schedule, we're going to say when armed, and we're going to select the profile of home alarm. I'm going to select both of my sensors, which are the garage door and the front door, and we're going to want to play a sound. This sound is going to be a siren, and we're going to play it on my UP siren PoE. Now, one thing that I'd like Ubiquiti to change about this siren, we could either have 5 seconds or we could have up to 30 seconds. It would really be nice if it would go off the whole time until we actually disarm that siren. If somebody's breaking into my house and then the alarm goes off after 30 seconds, no one will be made aware of. So hopefully that's something that they could change in software. You may not be able to see this super clear, but in the top left-hand corner, it says arm site. I'm going to click the button and it should go to the arm status. I do have a disarm, which is the bottom left-hand button. I'm going to click that again and it should disarm the alarm. We're going to have to go downstairs and we'll test that with the siren. But first, let's get these lights working to trigger on and off. To get the lights to turn on and off with the fob behind me, I'm going to have to use Home Assistant and we're going to have to use a webhook. So I'm under automations and we're going to create a new automation within Home Assistant and we're going to create new. We're going to add a trigger under the when, and this is going to be a webhook. So I'm going to click plus on the webhook. We're going to want to copy this webhook ID down because we're going to need it for the alarm manager within UniFi Protect. With that copied down, when the webhook is triggered, we need to specify what it should do. So we're going to add the action. The action for this is going to be a light, and I'm going to want to toggle so I could click the button on and then click it off, and we're going to hit the plus arrow. Now we need to specify the targets that we want to do. So I'm going to add the target, and the targets behind me will be my Batman light. There's also going to be my Harley Quinn. There's going to be the Joker. And then I have these two Elgato lights that are sitting in front of the camera, so the right and the left. With all of the lights now added, we need to press save. We created the automation within Home Assistant. I'm going to create a new alarm, and I'm just going to call this turn lights on. We're going to do an activity, and this is going to be a button press. What I'm going to be doing on this is the left side button to turn the lights on and off, and we're going to select a webhook. So you needed to copy down that webhook ID, and we're going to do the custom webhook, and we're going to put that under the delivery URL. With the URL in there, I'm going to press create. Now with the alarm created within UniFi Protect, I'm going to click on the button and it should turn off all the lights and then we'll turn them back on. So it's now going off and then we're going to click to turn them back on. So that actually worked perfectly well and is really easy. I do use that right now on my Stream Deck, but I like to have that on the fob as well. The next button that we're going to configure is the right button. So we're going to create an alarm, and this is going to be to open my garage. So that's what I'll call it, open garage. The activity is going to be a button press, and we're going to select the right button. If you are using UniFi Access on your garage door, you would just need to check off this unlocked and then select the hub that you are using. But since I'm using the relay, we're going to go to output, and then we're going to choose output 2. We need to select the relay as well, and then we need to press create. Let's now test the button out. You can see that I have my garage door showing right now on UniFi Protect. I'm going to press the right button, and the garage door should start going up, and it does. This will also close the garage door. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go take a measurement wheel. I'm going to see how far I could get away from my house to see how far that the fob works to open up my garage door. I just got back from the walk with the measuring wheel, and I was able to get 405 feet away from my house, and I was still able to open up my garage door, which I think that is pretty good. It was going through a lot of different houses, and my SuperLink is in the basement, which is under cement foundation. We're going to configure another button so that when I press it, a custom message goes through my horn. So we're going to create an alarm. I'm just going to call this horn. It's going to be an activity. We're going to do a button press, and this time the button I'm just going to use is the night mode button. We're going to play a sound, and it's going to be a custom message, and it's going to play on our AI horn. The custom message that I have is, warning, you are trespassing, leave now, police have been called and are on the way. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create that. I've turned my noise gate off, so you should be able to hear it, and it's going to come through the horn, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press the button.
Warning, you are trespassing. Leave now, police have been called and are on the way.
As you can tell, there's a whole bunch of different scenarios that you could use this fob for. Now we need to do one more thing, and we're going to arm my system. I'm going to go to the front door and I'm going to open up the door while it's armed, and hopefully the siren goes off. I'm at the front of my house where you can see that we have the siren and we have an entry sensor, and this currently isn't armed. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to press arm, and you'll be able to see it go armed on my cell phone. So now that is armed. Once we open up this door and the contact breaks, this siren should go off. So now the siren's going off, but if we hit the disarm, the siren still goes off for that 30 seconds, so it doesn't cut that out, which I hope that they would change that in software, so when you disarm, it does. As you can see, when we were in the armed state and I opened up the door, it started breaching and the siren went off. But when I pressed disarm, it didn't turn the siren off. But you could see on screen, you could do that within the UniFi Protect application. So I really hope that they bring that to the fob. One other thing that I'd like to see bringing to the fob would be the ability to put UniFi access into emergency lockdown and also to turn emergency lockdown off. I wasn't able to figure out how to do it, but I think that would be crucial and it would be a really nice feature. Now, I really do like this new fob, and at $39, I think it's a great deal. It is a little bit big to have in your pocket on a keychain. It would be nice if they came out with maybe a 2-button fob and it was a little bit smaller. Something else that I think we need is a physical keypad, something like the intercom viewer that we could have on our wall to arm and disarm our alarm system. And that's going to be my video on the all-new Ubiquiti Remote Control KeyFob. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this key fob. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. All right, thanks.